All right, so here's the Interstate trailer, or at least what was an Interstate trailer. This is the first step of converting it into a travel trailer. And this is what it looks like right now. So here's all the wood that I took out of it. And initially, I am pretty impressed with it. I don't know if you know anything about wood, but the stuff here that they use to construct the inside of the trailer is actually pretty good quality stuff. So A+ on that one. But what I'm planning on doing with this trailer, and this is more so a video of other people that are trying to convert these little trailers into, like a mobile camper or like a sleeping situation, since, the hotels and all that stuff has kind of gotten ridiculous nowadays. But so starting with it, I would first recommend, taking off all the wood. It was super easy. I'll show you here. And sorry for the echo. These are the screws that the whole trailer, all that wood is stuck together with. These are just the anchors for the tie downs. But to start with, my plan at least is pulling off all the wood. There's about a 1-inch gap in between here from the metal to this is about 1 inch. So with that, I was gonna go ahead and get like foam insulation. They sell these big boards, like sheets of foam that are 1 inch thick, and they're relatively cheap, especially for a small trailer. It won't take too many of them, but I was gonna go ahead and fill each cavity with the foam boards. And in addition to, I haven't fully decided yet, but I'm thinking I'm gonna add a window on this first one here, closest to the outside. And then I was thinking I was gonna add one all the way down there on the front, just to have some positive airflow going through here. And so here's the roof of this trailer, and most trailers are different, but this one's got this, I forgot why they put it on here, maybe for condensation, but it's more of like this plastic sheet that goes across the top. So I'm probably gonna pull that off or maybe leave it there, but somehow I gotta get insulation up in there. And then I'm gonna fully enclose the roof so that it looks a little bit nicer and it's not just a blank roof. As far as the flooring, I'm gonna leave this in here. I'm probably gonna end up refinishing it, or maybe putting a top layer on it, maybe like a wood flooring. That's a little bit nicer than just like plywood. But going up front here, after pulling off the walls, which was a little new to me, there's actually a pretty large gap right in here that just goes straight to the outside. So I've seen a lot of people online use spray foam. So I was likely going to go around the corners with spray foam just to make sure there's no like air gaps. There's also one in that top corner there. So that's something that needs to be addressed on this trailer. Another thing too, if you guys are planning on converting one of these trailers into a little camper, and at least you want it to last a while, they do coat these trailers pretty well in like a durable exterior paint. However, on the inside here, I'll show you, it's all just raw metal. So, that's just a little bit of surface rust. That's not gonna kill your trailer, especially for me. I'm out here in Arizona, so it's fairly dry out here. But I'm gonna go ahead and go through all of this with either like a can of spray paint or some of that Rust-Oleum stuff, and I'm just gonna clean all this up just so, for peace of mind in the future, I don't have to worry about their rust being underneath my walls. So that's just something to note for you. Another side note, if you're going to do this and you're looking for longevity and strength, again, every trailer is different, but at least on mine, these beams here, at the bottom, you can actually see there's a bit of light coming through. They only welded it to the back of this L beam here. They didn't actually weld it to the bottom, which may or may not change any of the rigidity of the trailer. But, for me, while I have these walls off, I'm just going to go in there and weld that back up. So, and it's the same thing on both sides. Even, going over here, that one actually looks like it's got a tiny bit of weld on it. Going over to this one, you can see there's a gap underneath there. So just for peace of mind, and while I have this thing open, I'm going to go ahead and just tack weld, all the bottom brackets down and anywhere else that I see, because there are some spots where the welds, those, for example, they're pretty awful. I'm sure they do the job, but, wouldn't hurt to clean those up since, we plan on keeping this trailer for a while. So as far as the build plan with this trailer, it is 10 feet long by 5 feet wide. And obviously the interior dimensions are a little less than that. But my plan is, so here's the front door. I'm gonna go ahead and put a cabinet that pretty much sits flush against this. I believe that's about 1.5 or 2 feet up on the front here. So I'm gonna have a cabinet that goes across here with a little shelf. Thinking, you know, cabinets on the back, maybe a TV storage. However that's going to work out. And then most importantly, I want to leave this area here kind of like a walking space through the back. And I'm going to put sort of like a modular kind of bed platform in here, just so whenever I do need to use the trailer again, I could take the bed out. But when I am camping, I could just drop the frame in with the mattress. But it's pretty much going to sit right over here on this, you know, back 50-60% of the trailer. All right, and the most important part of this trailer obviously is going to be the RV lock. And I recommend just taking apart the whole door. There's some videos of people that try to get around it and leave the wood on there. I think the wood was about 10 screws to get it off, plus that bracket. But it's super easy, and like this is a prime example of why you should just take apart the trailer and start from the beginning. Is look at all of this metal shavings. There's a little bit of corrosion down here where water's just been pooling. So this is all very important stuff if you're wanting to keep this trailer long term. And then also, I mean, once you do get your RV locks, having this door taken apart is really easy to be able to Dremel this out and take a drill to it. So you can put your locks in there. And then obviously you would just have to notch out this side of the door. But like I said, I mean, people online, they don't take the doors apart and they don't pull the wood off, which I don't understand. Again, it was like 2 or 3 minutes worth of work, and now you can at least clean up and add some paint where it's needed, because like I said, these trailers they're built fairly quickly. The quality is decent, the materials are decent, but there's definitely some rush spots. So definitely just want to go through the whole trailer and just make sure everything is how you want it to look. And then the last thing that I'm on the fence about is the roof vent. So initially I wanted one of those RV style roof vents that has the little fan on it. Now I'm starting to decide against it. This Interstate trailer has one solid aluminum roof that goes across. There's really nothing that can leak other than the corners. And I don't necessarily want to compromise that just so I could have a roof vent. Again, like I said, I'm going to be adding 2 windows. One probably here on this side where that vent is, and then one on the complete opposite side. So I think I'm gonna have plenty of airflow through there. I don't think I'm gonna do much on the exterior. I've thought about solar, but on the same sense, I don't really want to punch holes in the roof, especially with it being that one solid sheet of aluminum. But yeah, there you go. That is the whole trailer and my plans with it. I will be making more videos here soon. Once I get that foam installed, as well as the RV windows is likely going to be next. And then I'm debating about either just painting or staining this wood floor. If you guys have any suggestions or recommendations on products or sealants or anything that I should use to help, you know, the longevity of this trailer, please throw them down in the comments. Or if you guys have any, you know, suggestions on how I should put the windows, or tips that you guys have if you have done this before, it'd be greatly appreciated. I kind of want the comments to be, you know, everybody that's trying to build one of these trailers or is thinking on it to have like a whole, you know, forum page or a bunch of people that are out here willing to help each other. So definitely leave your comments down below. And thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for the next one. It should be coming up in the next couple of days. Again, I'll be insulating the walls and likely doing the windows.